If you could change one thing in your past, what would you change?
Wow, that's a great question. I don't know. I try not to think about like changing things because you can't. So it seems like a frustrating exercise.
What struck me in May, December is the complexity of the characters in the film, and especially to women characters who are psychologically, morally ambiguous all the way. How rare is it in movies, Natalie?
It's incredible to get the opportunity to play characters in their full humanity. And I think the more variety we see of how women can behave, the more possibility there is and the more acceptance of women as humans.
But is there a lack in cinema of that kind of complexity for women?
I think that, yes, there's a historical, oversimplification, absolutely. And it's exciting to be at a moment in storytelling that feels like it's allowing, first of all, more voices that are reflective of society to tell the stories, but then also to have those stories be complex, human.
How is your French?
It's okay.
You don't speak French?
I do, but I'm shy about it.
You are. So in May, December, you're an actress preparing for a role. What do you need to create a character? How do you process?
I usually do whatever research I can. Of course, if there's, if I'm playing Jackie Kennedy, there's so much to dig into: historical, film, audio recordings, books.
But you've got notes every time?
I do have notes. I mean, sometimes they're my notes of imagination that are based off of the script, and sometimes they're, full of extreme research.
So the film is very much about confronting one's past and how difficult it is. And I remember this sentence from your character: sometimes I feel the weight of the past. It's a beautiful sentence. Do you sometimes feel the weight of the past?
Yeah, I think probably everyone who's lived a certain amount of time does at a certain point. That's part of what defines you and part of what is part of your identity.
But it's interesting for you because a lot of your past is literally on screen. You've been an actress for so long. You can literally watch on film 30 years of growing up.
Yes, absolutely. It's definitely surreal to have this kind of external memory along with my internal, of course, experience and memory, internal experience of what I've lived. And I always think that, now young people are living the same thing that I lived. Everyone is, because social media, everything's captured of your life the whole way. It's a completely different way for a whole generation to grow up.
And on that point precisely, it's pretty difficult for your character in the film to draw a line between fiction and real life. How is it for the actress that you are? Well,
I think that it's a question that I'm obsessed with is performance and how we perform in our lives, how we perform our social roles, how we perform, different aspects of ourselves with different people, and how we even perform with ourselves. I mean, I think that's so strong in the movie with the mirrors. The camera is a mirror. The camera is reflecting our innermost self or our performance of self, and that's just something I loved about this piece because it really asks a lot of those questions.
You're an actor, Natalie, but you're also a producer now. What kind of power does it give you, especially in storytelling?
It's so exciting to get to produce and to be able to nurture and support talent to create their artistic visions, and it's been really incredible to also foster the kind of storytelling I want to make.
And 5 years ago, you were an advocate for a revolution of desire in the film industry. To what extent are you happy with how things have evolved now?
I think that the conversation has been going on strong, so I'm very happy that it's part of the conversation constantly, but we obviously have a very far way to go still to get to true revolution.
That's right. We talk a lot about Me Too, but we have forgotten about the Time's Up movement, for which you really fought at the time. Stepping back, what did you find exciting in this movement specifically?
I think the community of women, to be in community with so many women in our industry was really incredible in terms of as a support and as a power force was just extraordinary. And to be able to share experience and to be able to, fight together to try and get ourselves better valued was really extraordinary.